I was originally, by chance, met up with Linda, who is, like myself, from Ireland. And she told me about this event that was coming up in Blackpool, and I thought it would be something I'd like to be involved in. So I got on the organising committee, and we met in John's office in the Blackpool Illuminations back in January. And I thought it was a great idea to put all of these different innovative speakers together in one space and see what would happen, with the added advantage of it being later on spread to a wider audience. And then I got introduced to Gareth at the first event in Nottingham that I went to, which was in Gorton, in a beautiful cathedral-like environment, and I connected with a few people there, and I just kept in touch and became one of the speakers and one of the organisers. And it's something that, having spoken to Gareth about, and the vision that he has, is something that I can really believe in and see that it has a future that supersedes national organisations, national structures, because it has an international appeal, and it's what I would call a bottom-up structure led by the people, for the people, of the people, and not controlled by the powers of authority. It's sort of, for somebody like me who's a rebel who likes to think outside the box, it's sort of the ideal avenue to allow my ideas to have free expression without criticism, without people trying to shut me down. And essentially, I see it as giving me a voice and allowing that voice to be heard, and then people making their mind up about what I have to offer. It's a gift that they're given at the start of life in conjunction with their parents or who's looking after them. And my passion is early development and the developing infant brain, and how we're, unlike animals that are born literally ready to go, like a foal is born and it sort of stands up and it's sort of surviving straight off its own bat straight away. Babies need to be nurtured by their parents, need to be guided, need to be instructed, and those brains need to be shaped and moulded, and it takes 25 to 30 years for those brains to mature. So we have a task of educating our society about how to nurture that brain, keep it in an environment where there isn't neglect, there isn't trauma, there isn't stress that stunts its growth, and how it can be plastic, but that plasticity can shrink or it can grow. So what we can do is we can shape and grow our brains by giving people the right sort of involvement with knowledge of how they can actually find what it is that they're meant to do, their element. I'm passionate about people having their element of something that they're going to be good at, that they're going to enjoy, and that's going to literally make them money. And it's going to be different for everyone what that actually is. But so many things get in the way of them finding out, and our education system being so mechanical and so dogmatic and didactic doesn't allow for people who are late developers or have different disabilities or whatever, and don't fit into the sort of rigid structures that exist, or can't produce the right results that will allegedly make them look good. So I have this idea that through psychotherapy that's broad-minded enough to sort of bring those and foster those talents from people, that can go on to achieve resilience and then go on to find something that they will want to achieve in, and that will actually give them joy and happiness. Well, I found the event really good, and I thought, well, we've got the potential to spread this through the internet. And I'm of the belief that things happen for a reason, and I've met people, a couple of people like Joe Delaney came up to me and said, we are meant to meet, this was a synchronous event, and I'm inspired by the idea of Jung, who says that there's no such thing as an accident, everything happens for a reason, and synchronicity is what drives us to achieve and to make things happen in the future. And it's a meeting of minds. I see this as like a meeting of minds. Bodies that carry those minds intersect through having similar ideas, and that draws them together, and then they can reconnect outside of a venue like this and have their ideas percolate and incubate and then resonate at a higher frequency and then go on to achieve great things. And I was saying to one of the speakers who was talking earlier that most of the geniuses that he put up and most of the things that have happened in the world, from Einstein to Newton, they were individual sparks of genius who saw something that had potential for the world. And it wasn't what NICE thinks, which is the government organisation of randomised controlled trials, as being the only gold standard. That dumbs down innovation and dumbs down creativity and prevents people who want to make a difference, who've discovered something that works. and are being hampered from making it be more widespread available because the authorities at B said we've always done it this way, we're not going to do it any different way. And I've heard the same story repeatedly from lots of speakers. So they've all encountered resistance because they came up with novel ideas that worked, but they didn't get the chance to put them in place because they threatened the system too much. And that's what we need. We need the systems to be threatened and the people to rise up and say that they can claim their own health and they can be guided to the people that will encourage them to heal themselves from within without being told that they have to take substances or follow prescriptions, as it were. The prescription they can prescribe is from themselves, and it is physician heal thyself is the motto, and then they can take that on board, and they're going to wake up wanting to nourish themselves because they've got pride in their appearance, pride in their body, pride in what they want to achieve.